Welcome back, everyone. In this session, we'll focus on what happens after the appointment stage, the collaborative production of information. At this stage, teams move beyond the planning and agreements, and they start taking action. We'll start by producing and sharing the information needed to move the project forward. And we know that this isn't about just creating the information. It's about doing it accurately, managing it efficiently, checking that it's actually quality information, approving it systematically, all to meet project requirements, working together collaboratively, effectively, and following ISO 19650 standards. That's a lot. So let's dive in and take a look. As we know, the overall process map for ISO 19650 is a series of clear and essential steps that guide us from the project initiation at the assessment stage all the way through to closeout. We've already looked at how the assessment and needs stage identifies the information needed to meet the project goals, and also the invitation to tender stage outlines the deliverables and responsibilities. We then focused on the creating of a strong tender response by addressing all of the key requirements, including the pre-appointment BIM execution plan, the risk register and mobilization plan. All of this was to demonstrate capability and capacity. Then we next looked at the appointment stage, where formal agreements are all completed. And this included the post-appointment or the contract BIM execution plan, the responsibility matrix, and also the task information delivery plans, all rolled up into a master information delivery plan. Lots of delivery planning. And in this session, we're actually going to focus on the delivery of the information model. We're going to break it down step by step. And the final three stages here will show us how teams continuously mobilize, validate, and share information throughout the project. First, we'll look at mobilizing teams and how they generate information collaboratively. And we'll ensure that everything is tracked through the master information delivery plan.
Next, we'll see how to verify and validate the information produced against the exchange information requirements, making sure it meets the project standards.
And finally, we will wrap up by looking at the project closeout stage, where we will reflect on lessons learned to improve future projects.
Yep. And we know that the process of ISO 19650 can be quite confusing, and sometimes maybe it's like building with Lego blocks. You know, when you first tip out all of the pieces, it can feel quite overwhelming. And ISO 19650 might feel the same way with so many tasks and processes and documents and requirements. It may feel pretty similar. But when you carefully put all of these pieces together, just like the BIM execution plan, the responsibility matrix, and the master information delivery plan, they give you the perfect framework to ensure that you're running effective information management. It's all about how everything works together to create the bigger picture. Let's take a look at what happens next after the appointment stage.
The first step is to mobilize resources. It's all about confirming all the necessary resources, such as people with the right skill set, tools, technology are available and ready to deliver the project successfully. The lead appointed party checks resource availability, ensuring teams are ready to perform their roles, while appointed parties align their capacity to meet project requirements.
Once resources are in place, we move to mobilize information technology. Here, the focus is on setting up and testing the tools and the platforms needed for information delivery and exchange. This includes configuring the common data environment, validating the workflows, and making sure all systems are ready for seamless collaboration between the teams.
Finally, we have the test project information production methods and procedures step. At this step, teams communicate and test the agreed methods and processes for producing, sharing, and validating information. This step ensures everything aligns with the project standards and exchange information requirements before work begins.
Yes, exactly, Akosh. By following these three key steps, mobilizing resources, testing technology, and verifying that those methods are in place, teams can start confidently producing information, knowing that the project is well prepared for success. In the next section of collaborative production of information, we'll cover the steps for producing, checking, and approving the information as a team.
Let's begin with check availability of reference information and shared resources. Before producing any information, the task teams are responsible for verifying that they have access to all relevant reference information and shared resources within the common data environment. If they don't, they must inform the lead appointed party as soon as possible and assess the impact this could have on their task information delivery plan.
Exactly. Once that's in place, we move to generate information. The appointed parties are responsible for producing information as per their respective task information delivery plans. This involves generating the required deliverables, coordinating with existing shared information within the common data environment, and spatially coordinating models to ensure they align with others for seamless integration.
Once information is generated, it's time for quality assurance check. Here, the task team reviews the information for accuracy, completeness, and alignment with the exchange information requirements. Any errors or gaps are identified and addressed before moving forward. If model quality is improved, it moves to the next step. If not, it's sent back for revisions. This is where the reject and repeat process comes in.
After the quality check, we move to review information and approve for sharing. Here, the task teams are responsible and accountable for reviewing their own information container against the exchange information requirements, the level of information need, and what other task teams require for coordination. If the review is successful, they assign the suitability for the information container and approve it for sharing. If unsuccessful, they record why and note the required amendments and reject it for further corrections.
Finally, we reach information model review. At this stage, the delivery team, which includes all task teams, reviews the information model as a whole. This continuous review ensures that all information remains well coordinated, aligned with the appointing party's requirements, and meets acceptance criteria. The lead appointed party must be informed of the outcomes to ensure overall project coordination.
And it's important to note that this entire process of generating, checking, quality assurance, and model review is iterative. It's repeated for every piece of information produced throughout the project lifecycle. This ensures that all deliverables are accurate, coordinated, and ready for the next phase.
Perfect. This clearly highlights the critical role of the task teams. They're responsible for producing, checking, and approving their own information while keeping the lead appointed party informed. By repeating this process for each deliverable, we maintain quality, consistency, and alignment across the entire project. Now let's move on to the information model delivery, where the finalized information model is submitted, reviewed, and accepted.
It all starts with submit information model for lead appointed party authorization. Here, the task teams share their information model to the lead appointed party within the common data environment. This step ensures the model is ready for further review.
Next, we have review and authorize the information model. This is where the lead appointed party reviews the submitted model to confirm it meets the project's requirements. This includes the deliverables listed in the Master Information Delivery Plan, the MIDP, the appointing party's exchange information requirements, the EIR, and the acceptance criteria for both the requirements and the level of information need in these containers. If the model is approved, the task teams are instructed to proceed with the next step, which is to publish the information. However, if the model is rejected, it's rejected as a whole, not in parts. This process loops back to collaborative production of information because partial acceptance is not allowed, as this may lead to coordination issues later.
Then we move to submit information model for appointing party acceptance. Here the task teams, as instructed, submit the authorized model to the appointing parties for their final review and acceptance.
Finally, in review and accept the information model step, the appointing party conducts a detailed review to confirm the model meets all the exchange information requirement and acceptance criteria, matches the deliverables listed in the Master Information Delivery Plan, and fulfills the required level of information need. If the appointing party accepts the model, it is marked as a published deliverable within the CDE. If rejected, the model is sent back to the lead appointed party for further updates. Again, partial acceptance is not permitted. The model must be fully compliant before proceeding.
Perfect. By following these steps, submission, review, authorization, and acceptance, teams ensure robust, reliable information is delivered at every single stage, and they're ready for that next phase of the project. To simplify everything, we've got you covered in the complete ISO 19650 checklist. This checklist breaks down all of the steps, tasks, and requirements, whether it's mobilizing resources, checking reference information is there, authorizing information models or submitting deliverables, any of those steps, With this checklist, you can ensure that nothing is missed, every step aligns with ISO 19650, and your team stays on track for the project's success. Now that we've seen the process and how the ISO 19650 checklist simplifies everything, we'll show you how Planoly takes you to that next level and helps you manage those tasks seamlessly, whether it's assigning the responsibilities, tracking the deliverables, or verifying compliance to ISO 19650. Let's take a look. Let's start first of all with the verify module. In the Kanban board, you can easily track all of the tasks from your master information delivery plan and your responsibility matrices. And you can even assign different statuses to these tasks so that you can say whether something is just proposed or whether it's approved, whether it's completed, whether it's even procured or installed. There are different statuses that you can define, and everything's completely flexible. And then once a task is complete, you can check the box to verify, and it will move to the verified step to confirm final approval. If you need to make changes, no problem. You can edit all of the information seamlessly in each card. You can filter each team's responsibilities so you can get a clearer understanding of each team's roles and responsibilities. And you can see which tasks are active and which ones need to still be approved. Moving on to the 3D viewer, you can also upload models directly to the interface or connect with the Autodesk Construction Cloud and others to come, and begin checking those models against the task requirements. With Planoly, manual work like checking through spreadsheets and ticking boxes is eliminated. The rules simplify everything because you can instantly see what did and didn't pass, clearly seeing things highlighted in a red, yellow, and green color. We're really easily able to consolidate this into one place, making verification more simple, more visual, and more effective. So let's remember,
Don't plan late.
Plan early.
with Planoly. We'll see you in the next one.